Hello friends, if you're new here, my name is Alana. Welcome to Her Home and Harvest. Today we're going to talk about my peach trees, which you can see me harvesting here. I love my peach trees. They're probably one of the biggest pride and joy in my backyard, if honestly not the biggest pride and joy in my backyard, because they grow so well and I love them so much. I really love my apples too, but they're not as prolific as my peaches are. These peaches just every year I'm blown away by how much they grow for me. So at the end of this video, I'm going to explain how much I got in 2023 from both trees. I have two trees here, an Eva's Pride and an August Pride. They're planted in the same hole. They're about 24 inches apart, and the reason I did this was to kind of essentially do a two-in-one planting. If you look up backyard orchard culture, that's where that comes from. The idea being that I want to treat two trees as one, sort of like how when you graft onto a tree, you get two different varieties from one tree. Only this kind of protects me if one tree happens to die. I still have the other. I mean, there's other benefits, but if you want to look up backyard orchard culture and 2-in-1, 3-in-1 floor and one plantings, I highly recommend that you do that because it is something that I'm very happy I did it. I did it with my peaches, my pluots, and my apples. The two varieties of peaches I have growing, and the ones that you're seeing right now are the Eva's Pride, and the ones you're going to see a little bit later that I harvested later in the year are my August Pride. I love both of these peaches. I have to say that the Eva's Pride are still my favorite. If you want to hear like my explanations of why I like one over the other, feel free to check out my 2022 video. I do talk a lot about that and kind of like show you the difference of what they look like when you cut them open. But they're delicious. Either of these trees will probably be a great addition if you're debating on growing them. This year I did net my trees again, and I did not have the same issues I had last year. So if you watched my last year 2022 peach harvest video, you'll see that I lost a lot of peaches to the birds. And this year I netted them early, and so I only lost a very small handful that were because I didn't fully net the trees. I kind of lazily did it. But just even doing that made such a huge difference. I was able to retain so much more fruit this year. I prune these trees every year, but aside from that, these trees are pretty low maintenance for me. I prune them in summer, which you're going to see a little bit later, and I prune them in winter, and then I probably fertilize them, I don't know, like 3 times a year. Water it in really good. But other than that, these trees are pretty low maintenance and they're doing so much for me, especially these Eva's Pride. And I've heard other gardeners say the same thing. Eva's Pride do so well for them. They have more than made back the amount of money that it took me to put them in the ground. I did want to insert this footage right here and just show you how easily these peaches peel. These are my Eva's Pride peaches. They peel like this every year. I did not blanch these. I literally just chopped into it and just peeled the skin right off. I love how easy they are to peel. I have to say the August Pride do not behave the same way, but the August Pride are gorgeous on the inside, so that's another benefit to that. So let me know if you guys have any other trees that you are growing in your backyard that you think everyone should have in their backyard. I mean, I will, if I ever move, I will plant an Eva's Pride peach in my backyard if it's, if I'm still living in an area that is a good climate for Eva's Pride peaches. I really think if you like peaches and you live in an area where you can grow Eva's Pride peaches, I would grow Eva's Pride peaches. So if you have your favorite fruit tree because you just think that they do so well and you enjoy them so much, I would love to hear it in the comments. I'm always debating on adding more trees, so feel free to give me ideas. And this pruning footage gives you a little bit of an idea of just how prolifically these trees have grown for me. You can see their height in comparison to me, which I have to say I'm only like 5'1", 5'2". I'm not that tall, but you can still see just how tall these trees have gotten. And to give you some context, these were planted in early 2020. So they have been in the ground for 3.5 years now, and I prune them back heavily like this each year. I did it the very first year in the ground, I did the second year in the ground, I did the third year in the ground, I'm doing it this year because I am really particular about wanting to keep these trees as short as possible. You see how heavily I'm pruning them so that they're shorter than I am? I know these trees are going to get up to be like 10 feet tall next year, and that's just too tall. So I am kind of just checking that height overall right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in winter and I'm going to prune them again. That's more going to be for shaping them and making sure I get rid of any branches that don't need to be there. But for now, this summer pruning is just so I can keep these trees at a manageable height that someone who's 5'2" can reach the fruit on it without having to get up on a ladder. It's kind of hard to see in the footage, but these trees are growing on a hill and no ladders will be involved in the picking of this fruit. It is just far too dangerous. And I wanted to insert this footage of me thinning the fruit trees earlier this year. This was done in the beginning of April. I think this is actually footage from the video I put out for my spending my birthday in the garden video. But I just wanted to put it out there to, one, show you just the massive size difference from what you just saw me prune off to what this looked like, less than 6 months ago. These trees just they take off every summer. So that's why I am not afraid to do that summer pruning. That is how much they grew in just a short period of time. And then the other reason, just to explain, you can see that I am throwing a lot of peaches into this basket, or into this bucket that I'm taking here. I can't honestly tell you how many I thinned off. I was trying to keep track of it at one point, and then I just kept going out there and thinning off more. So just to give you an idea, I probably thinned off at least 200, probably more, from these trees, but I just wanted to share this with you because I'm about to tell you how much I got this year, and that is still taking into context that I thinned so much. I thinned these off my trees so that the weight would not cause a problem on my branches, and also so that I would have larger fruit. Those are the two main reasons that I thin my fruit. So that's it for our 2023 harvest. The Eva's Pride peaches ended up yielding 41.5 pounds, and the August Pride peaches ended up yielding 20.5 pounds. So a total of 62 pounds, which is just crazy because last year I got 35.5 pounds and now this year getting 62 pounds. Obviously these trees are still younger trees, so they might produce a little bit more each year, but I imagine in the next year or two they're gonna kind of even out, and I might have some good years and bad years. But I'm just blown away. 62 pounds of organic peaches, homegrown, home-picked, right in my backyard, and I am so proud of that. So if you're still here, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you had a great year in your backyard, whether that was in the garden or if you're growing fruit trees. I'd love to know about it in the comments. Tell me, what was the harvest you got this year that you were just so excited about? Because this year, the peaches are definitely one of those things for me. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video and maybe in 2024 to see what that harvest looked like as well.